What's good, YouTube? This is Boxingwave. I want to do a quick recap of the card. I'm not going to be able to do every fight, but I'll just skim through it a little bit. First off, shout out to everybody that was here on the live commentary. We had a lot of fun. I told you guys we was going to have some fun tonight. All right. I know last night, it wasn't that many people there for the live commentary. I know a lot of people weren't impressed with the main event last night with the female card and cool, but we had fun tonight. And I know a lot of people are not going to be happy with the outcomes and the decisions of some of these fights here, and I'm going to briefly talk about that. But I'm going to give you a quick recap. We still had fun. If you are new here, welcome. Glad that you're subscribed now. And thank you for everyone that smashed the like button, donated, or supported to me in any way. Shout out to my dad. He was here. I didn't make it to any of the fights this weekend in New York, but I still had a good time. I'm glad. I'm always going to be happy going live with you guys. All right. Real quick, just going to run through the fights. David Morrell against Imam Khataev. All right. First off, I think Khataev won the fight. Okay. Uh, I have all these scorecards in front of me. I can't remember exactly how I scored it, but I believe I had scored it maybe 6 rounds to 4 for Khataev. Okay. I just think that Morrell, maybe it was either 6-4 or 7-3. I think it might have been 7-3. Dave Morrell, I gave him the last 2 rounds, but I only gave him the third round before that. Okay. He did get dropped in the fifth round, I believe. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, fifth round. This is the thing. Morrell, in my opinion, more talented than Khataev. More talented. I'm not basing that on his previous fights or anything. I'm basing it on what their abilities are. All right, Khataev came forward, very heavy-handed, throws a lot of hooks, a lot of looping shots, uppercuts, but he has his hands down. He's a counterpuncher. The thing is, David Morrell fought one of the most annoying fights. I know I was annoyed last night with Amanda Serrano because of the way she fought, her approach, her strategy, I guess. Nah, David Morrell topped that tonight by trying to look pretty, trying to showboat, getting dropped in the fifth round hard. Okay. He did not win the fight to me. Again, I scored it maybe 7 rounds to 3, 6-4. Plus with the knockdown. Dave Morrell did not win the fight. Khataev is pending a suspension because he recently popped on the test. I mean, well, not even recently now because it's from like last year. But he has not done his suspension term or anything like that yet. So we got to hold on that. I understand why they robbed him. David Morrell is a more known fighter. He has the name. He's only lost to David Benavidez. And I understand that Khataev is possibly going to be suspended soon. So politics wise, I I'm not as angry as I normally am for a robbery, but do I think Morrell won the fight? No. Khataev clearly won the fight to me. Right? David Morrell did not look good. This is the third fight in a row where he has not looked good to me. I personally told you guys before the David Benavidez fight that I thought he was a little bit overrated. Okay? He's a good fighter. He knocked out some good fights. He's had his fights and stuff. I'm not trying to take anything away from the guy. He is a good fighter. But since that hot rod fight against Kalajic, right, he has not looked impressive. He didn't look good in that fight. He gassed out in that fight, and that was at 175. He didn't look good against David Benavidez, and he didn't look good against Khataev. He is not good at light heavyweight. Okay, he has not adjusted to the new weight. I don't know what's going on. He has lost his speed. He has not looked like his condition is terrible. He's not listening to his coach. I think Ronnie Shields in the corner yelling at him because He's getting beat up in the fight. He's not letting his hands go. And he's showboating. And he's dancing. And he's doing stupid shit in the fight. It pissed me off all the way through the fight. He just lost a fan in me, you know? And I try not to be emotional about it and everything. I do like him, even though I do think he was overrated at 168. I still do like him. But after tonight, I can't I can't be a fan of someone that fights like that. When they're losing, they're clearly losing, and you're in there doing the Ali shuffle and doing a Manador thing whenever the guy missed us. Defense is bad. Conditioning is bad. Power is overrated. Speed is overrated. Defense is overrated. It's just, I'm just not impressed with the guy. I'm not going to sit here and cheerlead for Khataev because he is pending a failed drug test. But at the end of the day, Dave Morrell did not win that fight. He did not win that fight. I don't know what's going on with him, but at 175, he is just an average guy. All right. Moving further, let's talk about the next fight. Alberto Puello against Sabriel Matias. Very good fight. It did live up to the hype. But I had Alberto Puello winning the fight. Okay. I gave him the first 2 rounds. I think the third and the fourth, which I gave to him, were debatable rounds. They could have easily gone to Matias. I think Matias clearly won the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th round for me. All right. I think Puello won every round from the 8th to the 12th. The 8th, the 9th, the 11th, the 10th, the 11th, and 12th. Puello won. Matias started to get tired. I think the punches he was taking started to get to him. And even though he kept coming forward, his punches weren't as effective. He was missing a lot. And he was getting caught with bigger shots from Puello. Just because the man is still walking forward doesn't mean that the opponent's punches is not having an effect. This is why I disagree with the judge's decision. I think 9-3, 8-4 for Puello for me. Puello caught a second win maybe around the 10th round. 10th, 11th round, he started moving again. It was a tough fight. But I do think Puello won, being the champion as well. I don't feel like Matias felt like he won the fight. Again, I enjoyed the fight, and it was very, very competitive. I think my dad scored it differently for me. He gave Matias 5 rounds. He gave Puello 6 rounds. He scored 1, a draw. At the very, very, very least, it should have been a draw. But having Matias up, I just can't see it. You know, I'm not going to argue about it all day. It is what it is. It still was a very good fight, and I understand, and I was breaking this down while on live. When you have a fighter that I believe is the more accurate puncher, you know what I mean? It really depends on what you like. You know, do you care more about the defense, the accuracy, the punch accuracy, or do you care about the guy that's just coming forward and throwing more punches? If that's the case, William Zepeda beat Shakur Stevenson. You know, and at the end of it all, Matias took more damage. He did. Because at the end of the fight, by the end of the fight, who looked like the more beaten fighter? Puello won the fight. And I don't have nothing, you know, I don't have no bias towards either one of them. You know, I know I picked Puello to win on points, but I have no problems with saying I'm wrong. And to me, Puello did enough, more than enough to win the fight. Matias did win a lot of those middle rounds, okay? But at the end of the day, Puello did better early, did much better late, and Matias, I don't know. I think his style. I don't think that Matias is going to be the same fighter after this. It's kind of. It just is what it is. Matias won the fight, but I feel like Matias. What happened to Matias tonight is exactly what happened to Jared Hurd. He beat Lara on paper, but he was never the same after that fight. He was extremely durable for that fight. He has a very similar style than Sabriel Matias. He used to just walk guys down, Tony Harrison, Austin Trout, you know, whoever else he fought. He beat a lot of guys up, walking them down and just taking a lot of punches. But that fight tonight, I don't think Matias is going to be the same fighter after tonight. All right. Good win. I don't think he won, but congratulations. But moving forward, I think he took too much punishment. Yeah, he lost to Liam Paro, but in this fight, he took a lot of punishment for the bigger puncher in Alberto Puello. All right. Shakur Stevenson. Definitely my favorite fight for Shakur Stevenson. I think he won clear. I gave Zepeda 3 rounds. Okay. I think Shakur fought his fight for the most 90% of the fight. He fought his fight. He put himself in a corner. He stood in a pocket. He traded. He got hit. And I'm talking about Shakur. He got hit. He traded. He countered. He drew flurries. He wasn't boring. We didn't have to worry about ring size. We didn't have to worry about Tom and Jerry. We didn't have to worry about any of that. All right, he stood in the pocket and fought a reckless fight against a fighter that had the advantage with that kind of fight, with that kind of style of fight, that kind of pace of fight. And Shakur Stevenson still won the fight. He still beat him in his own way. Shakur got hit more than what we're normally used to seeing him get hit, but he fired back. I think the only negative in this fight for me when it comes to Shakur Stevenson is I just wanted him to go to the body a little bit more, especially in the second half. Especially in the periods when Zepeda started to show some fatigue, started showing that he's getting a little tired. Punches became less and less effective, less sharp. And it became a point where Zepeda's just drawn punches, but a lot of those punches were meaningless punches. Shakur Stevenson did a great job. He tried to give us an entertaining fight. I thought it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, people are going to always hate you, man. Whether you're running, whether you're not, people are going to call you a runner. People are going to call you pillow-fisted. People are going to call you boring. I think that he had the right approach by wanting to please the fans and try to make the non-believers expose them, but you're never going to completely expose them. If you did move a little bit more, I think he would have been more successful. I think he would have been cleaner. There's a such thing as running without or moving without running. You get what I'm saying? He could have moved without running. He showed the world that he could be defensive without moving at all. In my opinion, this fight was like a lower version of Floyd and Cotto, where Floyd, we finally seen him bleeding in a fight. We finally seen him. He sat in the pocket and exchanged with Cotto, making it where Cotto was landing shots that a lot of other fighters didn't get the opportunity to land. The exchanges was there. So, in my opinion, Zepeda did a good job. I know in the scorecards it was super right. I think one judge gave it 2 rounds to Zepeda, and the other 2 gave 1 round to Zepeda. I thought it was a great fight. All right, and even though Cepeda lost, it's nothing to be disappointed with. You was able to hit Shakur more than we ever seen him get hit. Shakur, on the other hand, was able to take the power, continue working, um, and he needs to just do what he needs to do. You know, let's be realistic here. If he were to fight Tank, which I don't think happens, but if he were to fight Tank, he's not going to fight that same way. You know, Cepeda was a guy that he could make miss without having to move. Certain other fighters, it's not going to work that way, you know. But it was a really good fight. I enjoy it. Congratulations to him at 135. Well, we got some new champions there, or some future champions. You know, you got Andy Cruz, you got Raymond Moritaya, uh, you got Floyd Schofield. Let's get that fight. You know, I think against Floyd Schofield, I think he need to be a little bit more cautious and can't fight that fight. All right, but it was a good win. Cepeda, I still want to see him fight guys like that. I just named um, guys like a Frank Martin in the future. Uh, and you will, you know, Frank Martin's going to probably go to 140, but you know, still think he's a good name. But we'll see. And for the final fight, Edgar Berlanga got knocked out. I know a lot of people are happy. Uh, it was crazy the amount of viewership that dropped after the Shakur Stevenson William Cepeda fight, which should have really been the main event. But not for nothing, man. I really enjoyed the Edgar Berlanga Sheeraz fight. That was the only fight out of the previous three fights where you had two fighters that were both being extremely cautious while throwing nothing but power shots. I thought Edgar Berlanga was doing better with the jab. I thought Sheeraz was getting him better when they traded hooks and the exchanges. There was a period in the fourth round where Hamzah Sheeraz stepped up the pace because up to that point, the fight, in my opinion, was neck and neck. I think in the first three rounds, well, I didn't officially score that fight. The first three rounds, I think I gave one round to Edgar. I think I gave one round to Sheeraz, and I think I gave the first round to a draw or something. But in the fourth round, Sheeraz started to be more aggressive. I think he started feeling confident. I think he started figuring out Berlanga. He started throwing more flurries and he was becoming more aggressive. He was landing clean. And there was a point where he landed a flurry and put Edgar Berlanga down. But this was different from what we've seen in the past. Berlanga went down, started beating on his chest like he's done in the past. But I could tell he was hurt. He should have just played it safe like a vet would do and try to tie it up. But he wanted to be tough. He had a big rollout. He had Fat Joe, Remy Ma. You got everybody from all these people out coming out supporting you from Puerto Rico and everything. At the end of the day, he he got knocked down again in the same fourth round right after because he wasn't fully recovered. He started beating off his chest, but he was beating like this. The energy was gone. I knew at that point he's done. I'm surprised he got up, but he got up. He was saved by the bell. As soon as he got up, the bell rung. The fourth round was over. He came back out in the fifth round, got hit with a two-piece by Hamzah Sheeraz, put him down again. The ref waved it off. He was done. He was done. He was never even recovered from the fourth round. Sheeraz, possibility, he has opportunities. He could fight Chris Eubank in the future. He could fight Canelo in the future. He's officially at 168. This was a very, very good win for him. But, you know, like I said in the breakdown, whether he won or Edgar won, or these are two fighters that I'm still unsure about. But for Sheeraz, this is a great way to redeem that performance against Carlos Adames. Great way to redeem himself, and he did the thing. So congratulations to Hamzah Sheeraz. Edgar Berlanga, you know, you already got a name. You already got people that can't stand you. You might as well just keep working behind it. You did lose to Canelo, but getting knocked out is going to be tough, especially in I mean, well, not in Brooklyn, but in Queens, in New York. You got knocked out. Moving forward, I mean, all I really got to say is just work your way back up. Because, like I said in the breakdown, I don't think 168 is a really proven division right now. You have Canelo, and then you have everybody else are just a bunch of new guys. You know what I mean? The older guys are kind of starting to slip a little bit. Caleb Plant just recently lost. Benavidez went up. Morrell went up. There's not much, you know, you got guys like Pacheco and Billy. You got a few other guys that's good. But I think the division is completely open. So I think this is a division that Edgar Berlanga can bounce back. You just need a win or two to get yourself back together. You know, let's get that Caleb Plant fight. You know, Caleb just had a loss. Get that fight in. You know, both of you guys are looking for a way to get back in the game. Fight Caleb Plant right now. You know, I'm sure he would want to take it. I think he would. All right. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna get some rest. I gotta wake up really early. Please, everybody get home safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. This week we got more fights this week, so I gotta do some more breakdowns. So let me know what you guys think. I'm out. Y'all have a good night. Peace.